Swag, what do you mean that a 9.9 prescreen is going to add more 9.9s on the census? That's stupid. That would never happen. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not how this works. Well, person who commented on all my 9.9 videos, look what we have here. Look how the tables have turned. We got ourselves a big one, guys. A 9.9 giant size X-Men #1, hot off the press, not even yet on the census, already about to hit market. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle Haas. And this one is a big one. Big news coming out of the metropolis/Comic Connect Instagram. Vincent Zurzolo, of course, Vince has been on the channel many times. He just posted a video a couple hours ago talking about a new giant size X-Men 9.9 showing up in the next Comic Connect auction. And boy, oh boy, is this going to shake things up. Pull out your tinfoil hat, because why is it that now we are finally getting a giant size X-Men #1? But of course, before I get into the video, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Helps support the channel doing these things. Also, Sanity, Rise of the Occult. Maybe you can send it in, get a 9.9. That would be pretty cool. Kickstarter link in the description. I would definitely appreciate your support. All right, let us get into this post right here. Coming out once again of the Instagram from Metropolis Comics. He says, wow, highest graded 1 of 1 in the world. Giant size X-Men #1, CGC graded 9.9 white pages in the next event auction starting in May and ending in June. Now, of course, this is a video right here. I'm not actually gonna play the video because there's some audio issues and I don't wanna get, a strike or something like that if I play the video. But basically Vince just sort of says, hey, coming to the next Comic Connect auction in June, we have the first ever giant size X-Men 9.9 1 of 1 comic book. And you guys can definitely go check it out. And it's pretty interesting. This has been the tinfoil theory. This has been the discussion of, Swag, why does a 9.9 pre-screen, why does all this conversation of CGC talking about, 9.9s and 10s being added to modern comic books have anything to do with comic books that are, of the Bronze Age, or have anything to do with older comic books? Well, person who is asking that hypothetical question, it has everything to do with it, because we're talking about the normalization of 9.9s and 10s. We as a community have basically concluded that, a quote unquote perfect book is basically a 9.8. And that's kind of been, how we've operated ever since, the invention of grading. This has been the case for the last 10 or 20 years or so. And with the slow rollout of 9.9s coming to the modern comic market, it starts to sort of shift the culture a little bit. We're a little more used to seeing, that gold number in the upper left corner. And, we've all sort of started to ask those questions like, well, if a 9.8, technically speaking, can have defects, well, then it sort of begs the question, like, why are there not more 9.9s and 10s? I mean, I've seen perfect books, and well, here you go. We're starting to, adapt and starting to get some of those things coming to market. Now, this one in particular is very, very interesting. There is a Hulk 181 that has 199 on the census, and that is, maybe the most comparable book that we can talk about with regards to, say, a mega Bronze Age key like this. There are no Amazing Spider-Man 129 99s. There are no Werewolf by Night 32 9.9s. I'm trying to think about all the sort of Bronze Age keys that would come out of this era. But there are, a ton of giant size X-Men's on the census. So you did kind of wonder, like, okay, was this eventually going to happen? And here you have it, the very, very first one. Now, if you really want to get, into the weeds and think about this, you sort of have to wonder, like, how is it that, this 9.9 is going to get to Comic Connect right away? Like, is this, something where, is it Vince's book that went in there? Is it actually someone who's consigning with Vince? Like, maybe there was just some lucky individual that sent in their giant size X-Men, and the grader that day, had a great cup of coffee and got a, shoulder rub and got a free parking spot, and his lotto ticket came up, and he was just feeling good that day and decided to give this book a 9.9, and that's why it is coming to this auction. But it just makes you wonder, like, when is it going to be my turn? Can I submit a book that gets a 9.9? That would be actually really awesome. But let me go into the comments here and see what people are sort of discussing before we, talk about some of the census and what this book would actually sell for. 360 Comics, shout out to Joe right there, says, does this have a shot at being the first Bronze Age book to hit 1 million? Maybe. I don't think this book would hit 1 million. I have my reasons to think that, but I could be wrong. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Dan says, I don't see it on the census. Yeah, this is like fresh off the press. I mean, it's not yet on the census. Wow, not even updated on the census yet. Must be a product of the new 9.9.10 prescreen service. Didn't think that was in effect yet, though. I mean, I don't think that this is going to be a book that was a 9.9.10 prescreen. I mean, we did see the video of how they do the sort of relative grading, based on 9.9s and 10s. But this is a book that probably just got a 9.9, luckily, so it'll be interesting to see, what kind of comes of this. CGC has really created one of the best self-perpetuating hobbies between cleaning and pressing, purple label of deaths, 9.9 screening, and now signature verification. They can sucker any well-meaning collector into having the same item graded multiple times. Ugh, nice GSX. I mean, that is sort of the cynical way to look at this, I'd say, kind of the black pill outlook, which is, anytime CGC can create an opportunity for people to resubmit books, to crack and press, to give, another submission through CGC's doors, I mean, they're going to be incentivized to do so. I mean, imagine like if this is now a 9.9 and they've opened up the floodgates to this, I mean, there has to be some 9.8s out there, right, that look just as good as this book. I mean, maybe it's not the case. I don't know. I mean, who's to say? But there's probably some 9.8s that are really crispy clean. Very, very interesting. Holy cow, this is unbelievable. Nice book, but is this part of the new 9.9 prescreen era? If so, the 9.9 is the new 9.8. 9.9s will be popping up a lot more. Sad, really. Now, I should clarify and say that, I don't necessarily think that all of a sudden, every single 9.8 of Giant Size X-Men 1 is going to be, CPR to a 9.9. I don't actually think that that's going to be the case, but, 1 copy, 2 copies, maybe 3 copies could definitely pop on the census. I would suspect that any Bronze Age key that doesn't have a 9.9, begs the question, like, okay, where's the Tomb of Dracula 10.9.9? Where's the Werewolf by Night 32.9.9? Where's the Marvel Spotlight 5.9.9? That would be kind of interesting. I mean, maybe one of those 9.8 books could be a 9.9. It's very, very possible that some of these things exist. And again, like I said, once you open up the floodgates and the normalization of 9.9s being attainable, being doable out there for even these Bronze Age and maybe even some Silver Age comic books, well, then, we're going to start to see them more, because why not? It just makes sense to do that if that is the grading scale. But let's kind of zoom in here on Giant Size X-Men #1. I want to show you guys the census. We have 12,150 universal copies, 239 at the 9.8 level. This is a similar number to what we see with a lot of these keys, like ASM 129, where it's like you'll have, 10,000 universal, and then you'll have like 200 or so 9.8s. Now, the 9.8s for these selling roughly, 90-day average around the $22,000 range. That's a lot lower than what it used to be. Once upon a time, this book was hitting that $50,000 mark. You got the Hulk 181 that, generally speaking, let's just say it's around the same census number, 14,000, a little bit higher. And this one for 9.8 level, a little bit less overall, because, the Giant Size X-Men #1 is a white cover. So white cover, a little bit, more giving in terms of, hiding some of the flaws. 145 on the census. 90-day for this is 72,000. Again, down from the record prices of 130. And there actually is 199 on the census for this Hulk 181. Who knows what that would actually sell for. One of the books that I thought of that, felt like it could be comparable for this one right here is this Iron Man #1. I mean, this to me feels like, okay, maybe this would be sort of a good comp to sort of figure out, okay, well, what would the Giant Size X-Men #1 sell for? Again, not as many on the census, but it is a book that at the 9.8 level sells a similar price range to that of Giant Size X-Men #1. You have 28,000 there for this one. You have 22,000 here for this one. And then this does actually have some 9.9s. Now, granted, there are 3 9.9s on the census for this. And the last sale for it was 6 figures, $106,000. So this one only has the 1 on the census so far. So you would imagine that this for sure is at the very least going to hit 6 figures, much like this Iron Man #1 did. And it could go even a little bit more than that, because there's 3 on the census for this book. And at least at the time of recording this, there's only one for this one right here. So I could imagine this book selling at the, definitely six-figure range. Easily it's going to be 100,000. And then, who knows who wants it from there. Maybe it could push up to 200,000 or 300,000, if we're kind of doing relative value based on the Iron Man #1. But pretty crazy to see this hit the market, and interesting timing. I mean, again, we talk about CGC a lot with the optics and all that sort of stuff. It's just funny how all of this stuff, comes out one after the other. And you just have to wonder, when CGC was like, yeah, we're going to give this a 9.9, did they think like, okay, how's the community going to react to this? What are they going to think about all this? It's very, very interesting. And again, I would not be surprised if sometime later this year, maybe next year, but sometime in the near future, all those Bronze Age keys, even in ASM 129, First Appearance of Punisher, will eventually get the 9.9 treatment as well. And also, not to be all doom and gloom, but if I was a top of census collector, this would worry me a little bit. Is there anyone out there that is, a big time 9.8 chaser, specifically on these types of keys? I mean, do you guys think that this kind of devalues some of the 9.8s? Like, does this hurt Giant Size X-Men 1/9/8s? Again, I'm not trying to say like, oh, everyone should, panic here. Don't hit the panic button yet. But at the same time, it does, give me concern. If I'm somebody who either one has a 9.9, say like a New Mutants 98 9.9, you have one of those copies. Or, if I'm somebody who has a 9.8 where there's a lot on the census already, like this concerns me a little bit because, again, if you open up the floodgates to have more 9.9s on the census, it's going to affect the values very, very drastically. Every copy that you add to 9.9 is going to shake up the market. It's all supply and demand, right? As soon as you add just a little bit more supply, it really throws a wrench into the gears. Anyways, that's all right for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this news. I thought it was really interesting seeing this post earlier this morning. Giant Size X-Men getting a 9.9 on the census. The colors do look nice though. It'd be great to get high-res scans of this so that we can zoom in and see what it's really all about. I'll probably do that in the future. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next video.